down Welton, the Frankentrain down Welton.
I moved to San Diego. I was struggling to find the job that I wanted. And so for a brief 10 weeks, I became a people mover. My vehicle was longer than a football field. It could go 55 miles per hour, and I could move up to 700 people at a time. I was a San Diego trolley operator. I was driving a train, Madam Contest Chair, and my dear passengers, let's go for a ride. First, to become a train operator, you have to complete a 10-week training course. During my 10 weeks of training, I had many different trainers, but today I'm going to tell you about two of them. The first one I'm going to call Mr. Angry. I remember the day he got into the small cab on my train with me, and one of the first things he said was, "I hadn't been a trainer in over a year." Really? Why is that? They said I had an anger problem. They would take anger management classes and wouldn't let me train for a year. Yikes. Dear friends, within 15 minutes, this angry man standing next to me in the cab of my train was literally screaming obscenities at me. I can tell you from experience, you don't learn quicker or even get better when somebody's cursing and screaming at you. After over an hour of this constant torture, I finally said to Mr. Angry, "I don't know if I'm done for the day, but I know I'm done for now. I need a break. If it's okay with you, hopefully later today I can drive some more. If that's not all right with you, I'll get out now, take the next train back to the station, not tell them why I came back early." He drove after that, and then I did the last run of the shift. When I got back in, I told them, I said, I would never again, never go out with Mr. Angry again. They asked me what happened. I told them. They apologized. Said, he's done that before. We made him take anger management classes, but we thought he was back on track. I said, I think his train has derailed. The next train I want to talk to you about is, I'm going to call him Mr. Crazy. Now, Mr. Crazy, he was a party compared to Mr. Angry. He was fun, but he was crazy. And he never shut up. He didn't yell at me, but he constantly talked, seriously constantly. I don't believe I've ever met anybody like him before in my life. If he ran out of words to say, he just made noise. But the constant talking and the noise was very distracting when I'm trying to learn how to drive my train. The best comparison I could think of to tell you is to think back when you were first learning to drive a car. Back when you still had to stop and think about every little thing you had to do. Now make that car 320 feet long, put a few hundred people in your back seat, and put it cruising down the streets of the 8th largest city in America. And in downtown San Diego, our tracks were right on the roads. We were sharing the roads with cars, trucks, bikes, buses, homeless people, walkers, joggers, and drunks. Yes, we're riding on rails. No, we cannot move out of the way. During training, they told us they want us down to 20 miles per hour as we enter the stations. Mr. Crazy, he says, no, faster is better. It's okay to be going 50 is fine. He wants to be coming in hot and braking hard. Now understand, trains are different than other vehicles. If you're not on our tracks, we cannot hit you. But it can still be very alarming if you're standing there right behind that yellow line, and something as large as my train's coming in at 50. Picture a parent holding their 2 little children's hands. We're waiting on the train, we're waiting on the train. By the way, that sound, that's the sound of my small horn. We have 2 horns on the train. The buzzer horn that we use all the time, and the much bigger horn because, we all know there are times when size does matter. The small horn I called Buzz. The larger horn I called the Fear of God. It was so loud that it was actually against the law for us to use if we were in city limits unless absolutely necessary. We were also the late shift, the last train of the night. What that meant when we got out to the last stop out in Santee, California, we turned around and came back empty. No passengers. Mr. Crazy, he got all excited and started clapping and said, now we made it to the fun time of the night. Yeah, we get to go back 55 miles per hour the entire way, no slowing down. I said, don't we have several 15-mile-per-hour curves to go through? It's okay, I've tested all of them. The train will stay on the tracks at 55. It just gets noisy. So here we are barreling down the tracks in the dark, 55 miles per hour. heading into a 15-mile-per-hour curve. Now understand, my wheels, they're made of steel. The rails are made of steel. As we begin to go through that curve, those wheels literally begin to scream in pain. Now understand, the noise is only half the story. We run by electricity. We have these wires up above the train. We have a pole that rubs up against them. But when we're going that fast on that curve, that pole begins to wildly wham back and forth. Every time it hits that wire, pop! And sparks are flying. So we're flying through the curve, 55 miles per hour. The wheels are literally screaming in pain. The wires are showering the train in sparks. And the whole time, Mr. Crazy's got this lunatic laughing sound going. I'm living in a nightmare and driving the frickin' Frankentrain. Miraculously, we make it back alive. I've got this smile I can't wipe off my face as I'm walking in to punch out on the time clock. You know, I just didn't make it as a train operator. But if I was going to go one more shift, I said, give me the last train of the night with Mr. Crazy. I want to drive the Frankentrain one more time. Man, I'm